Hello there, time for another virtual On the Buses filming locations tour. Today we're going to be covering North Wales. We won't bother with the Prestatyn. We've done the Pontins Prestatyn Sands holiday camp, which you can see up there on the coast. We've done that in an earlier video, so it's up on the channel to watch. We're going to cover areas such as Dyserth that they filmed in, and also in Rhuddlan, which they filmed in, and also in Rhyl, which they filmed in. So those are the locations that we'll be covering in this locations tour. So move right into Dyserth. And right in here is onto Alty-Greg Road, which is filmed heavily on. So we'll head up here. We don't actually see the road from this angle, but you'll soon get the gist of where we're heading to now. So there's the low-level bridge that the bus comes under. The bus comes under here, and you see all mum with the ice cream on her face and all of that, wiping the ice cream off her face. So the bridge here would be from around about this angle that is filmed, and there you can see it there, the railway bridge. They did film heavily on this road up here, various scenes with the bus heading down here during the mystery tour. You see it roughly around about here, because you see this road here, with the banked wall in the background. So they filmed the bus coming up, and they filmed it coming down here, and further on up Alty-Greg Road. If you carry on up, so around about here is when you see Stan, and he's driving along in the you see the bus heading along a country lane, and you see the trees in the background and the hedge would have been heading in this direction. And then in the scene when you see Jack coming along and he's taking all the branches off the trees and throwing them off the side of the open top bus, it's coming along in this direction, the bus, because you see that little white house in the background. You see that there in the actual film, and you do see this at the telegraph pole there as well. So that's how we know that it filmed here. So if we carry on up Alty-Greg, this is really up into a hilly part here now. There is a scene again where Stan's driving along. The bus is heading up a country road. And you get this view just as it's passing this house here in the background of the hills in the background there. And there is a scene further on up as well, which would have been around about here when you see it passing. This is a location that we weren't able to find for so long. It passes our part of the wall that sort of like juts in, and that's it there. It's been remodelled over the years, but you know it's here because it comes up and past this part and passes up, excuse me, immediately passes a telegraph pole. So that was all the scenes that they filmed up here on Alty-Greg and the hills above Dyserth. So the next port of call, you'll notice straight away as soon as we get to it. So this here is the waterfalls at Dyserth. So there's the shop there. If you have a look at the shop, there's a door that Olive comes running out of, and she's got all the candy floss. So the bus would have been parked around about here. Imagine the bus parked here. And there's the door that Joan, Kate Williams, Stephen Lewis and Bob Grant, they all done that great scene there with the ice cream cones. We'd have been standing right there at that spot right there. Just see if we can get a good enough angle across at the waterfall, which you can see just in the distance over there. So this is a grassy area, if you see what I mean. Just move back a bit and then. So your grass area that they were all sitting there, you can see it's still there, it's unchanged. Just change the table and the arrangements and all of that, different types of tables obviously. And there's the houses that you see in the background when he stands rushing to get the passengers back onto his bus. You can see the houses up there, which is the view you would get. I can't go into the actual waterfall for that view, if you see what I mean, because obviously Street View doesn't allow you such a view there. Oh, it does, sorry. Hold on. Right, so there's a waterfall there. So this is basically the area that all the holiday makers have been sitting in, and Stan comes along and says, rushes to get them back onto the bus. And there's all the houses you see in the background as well. So that's all that was filmed here at Dysarth. So I head back out of here. Next port of call for the next port of call is Rhuddlan. There we go. So we head right down to the westernmost end of Rhuddlan. And this is onto Station Road, and there you can see the bridge there. This is a sort of the view that you would have got when the bus is heading down and you see a car coming towards it. See those two sort of like garage, I think at one time they were garages, these two buildings there, but they aren't now, of course. You can see the road itself has been narrowed as well. It's only a one-lane system that they've got here now. They've narrowed the road a lot. So obviously they've got a traffic light system. So when one end of the one sort of line of traffic wants to get across the bridge, then one has to stop here on the other end of the bridge and stop as well, just to let them over. There you go. So again, here's the bridge here where the bus comes towards and they lose their cases. Now we know where they lose their cases because we see this little bit that's jutting out there. So that's where the motorbike runs into there. And you can see the Rhuddlan Castle in the background. So the motorbike runs into the side there, lose their cases. I'll just see if I can get another, if somebody's taken a photograph kindly enough of any of these areas around here to give you a good look at some of the other location. But no. So basically where you see Olive and Arthur going in the river is over and down this side of the bridge here. I can't get in there to show you, unfortunately, but that's where it was being filmed, down here. And they look across and you see through the arch in the bridge the Rhuddlan Castle, which is there. It is there. Okay, so we'll head on out of Rhuddlan. This is Station Road here. And you do see a scene when they're on the way to the holiday camp. You see the bus heading along a motorway. This would have been filmed here. This part of the road has changed a bit over the years. There was really nothing. I think there was just something like a farm or something here, because there was that turn off where you see the car going. But now there's a Premier Inn there. The road here has been totally remodelled for motorway purposes here. You can see this is all new since the day that they filmed Holiday on the Buses. Don't actually see this part in the film anyway, but we'll head out onto St Asaph Road now, which is like a dual carriageway. Now they used this 2 or 3 times in the filming. So if you remember the scene when the family are on the way to the holiday camp and they pass a sign saying holiday camp 2 miles. That sign would have been around about here. And it passes them by and the road's on a curve. And that would have been filmed all around about here. Now, later in the scene, later in the film, there's the mystery tour scene. The bus would have headed along in this direction, headed on this side of the road. You see them passing these houses in the background. And then it would have turned here, but it wouldn't be able to do it now because the central reservation has all been filled in. It would have turned here and come back and down and around the corner here and head down this country lane here. So that when you see the bus heading down a narrow country lane, that's it right there. So it was all filmed in this area on St Asaph Road. They filmed about 3-4 scenes here. Now the thing is here, what such as the magic of the TV, when it goes down that narrow lane, you would think that carries on to where you see it up at the Alta Greg. But if you look at that road, it's a dead end. It just runs to a farm, basically. And there's nothing after that. The road never ever did carry on anywhere else because the River Clwyd is there. So that's what they filmed here in St Asaph, on St Asaph Road. Now we head on to Rhyl. So here we've got the high street. So remember the scene when you see the bus heading to a town centre? That would have been filmed here. It's all pedestrianised now. You can see the roads all closed off and pedestrianised. The building there, I think in the film it was a Barclays Bank. It is still a bank to this day. I don't think it's a Barclays Bank anymore. Might be a NatWest or something like that, but it is still a bank. The buildings on the other side, either sides of the road, haven't really changed at all. Just the fact that the road's been taken out and it's just totally pedestrianised now. Now, when you see the bus heading down the seafront here at Rhyl, you would have seen it getting filmed around about here. You see these buildings here on this side of the road, and you see that this side-on building here with the blocked-up windows. You actually see that in the film as well. So the bus would have been heading down in this direction when they filmed that, heading through Rhyl. And finally in Rhyl, next one's instantly really recognisable. It's changed colour over the years from Battleship Grey to like an aqua sort of blue colour, if you see what I mean. So here we have, this is a Rhyl Ford Harbour Bridge that you see the bus heading down. There's another bus heading in that direction, and the bus on the Mystery Tour is heading in this direction. From around about here it would have been filmed. So that would have been the where this was filmed. So that covers about everything that there's in North Wales. I don't think I've missed anything else out here. So I hope you enjoyed this locations tour. And there'll be another one coming up soon.